Welcome back. I'm Kim Bailey. She's Juliana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec. This morning we recorded a great conversation with John Gates, who is a salary coach. And in the course of the conversation, or in fact before the recorded conversation, we were having a quick discussion, which I thought I might bring you today as a bit of a teaser for the 3 podcast series that will begin next week. Let's hear what John's got to say about salary negotiation.
Our target audience initially was predominantly people that were in the same sort of groupings as Juliana was coaching at the time, or mentoring at the time, I should say. And it's grown from that because we look after that level, so C-suite level, but we also find that we're getting a following of people who are ready to step up into the C-suite, or quite the opposite end of the scale, are just starting out in their careers and wanting to know what their path is and work out what their path is in terms of a career.
Excellent. Well, I'm grateful to be here. And it's interesting. I saw some research recently that suggested when you're just beginning your career, Kim, if you can negotiate an extra $5,000 in your pay package, in your salary, when you're just beginning your career, say you just graduated from college and now you're going into your first career job, that $5,000 over the course of your lifetime career compounds into 1.5 million extra dollars in lifetime earnings. Or alternatively, you could retire 8 years sooner just because you earned $5,000 extra dollars at the beginning, because it compounds through raises, through bonuses, through promotions, through every job transfer that you make. There's a higher floor. It just tends to follow you around through your career.
Yeah.
So
it surely becomes part of your thinking. It's part of your self-worth, is that you see that you started out thinking that you weren't worth this much, but someone said you were. And so the external judgment becomes part of how you see yourself as well.
Right. I think most people never truly understand how to do this, how to negotiate pay. The average person might change jobs a handful of times in their lifetime. They're an expert at what they do. But when it comes to negotiating their own pay, they're up against someone like me who has done it for a lifetime, a career. So I'm used to negotiating on the other side of the table. Maybe 5 or 6 times a week I'm doing that. And it's always with somebody else's money. It's not with mine. So the stakes are very high. Everyone's a beginner, and they're up against, they feel like the power balance is not in their favor. So the vast tendency for people at all levels, including executives, is to very reluctantly negotiate. In my own experience, at least 80% of the offers I made as an executive recruiter were accepted without negotiation.
That's been my experience as well. Even on the other side, people saying to me, well, no, because and I'll say, well, why? Why is it good enough, or why isn't it good enough? Have you asked that question,
Yes. And I think that the reason why most people don't, especially if they're unemployed, is fear. The uncertainty of their life is at a high at that point, and they just want that uncertainty to go away. So if the offer seems fair and reasonable and worth accepting, they will do that. They only accept they only negotiate when they're backed into a corner. And it's like, well, I guess it's time for the Hail Mary now, because it's either I'm not accepting or I'm going to risk getting more here.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little teaser of the conversation that we had with John Gates. Join us for part 1 next week. For now, I'm Kim Bailey. She's Juliana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec.